Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is Disciples of YouTube, turn 27. Not a whole lot happened this turn. We hit Alteration level 3. We searched the Farseer Mountains and found no magic sites. We did take Ctesiphon from basically nothing. We also took the Promised Land. So this is this throne province that was right here. And basically we just had 2 mages and some Bashanites. And since this is a lightly guarded throne, they didn't have all that much to threaten us with. We basically just cast Strength of Giants on our Giants to make them even stronger and giantier, and they charged in and mulched people, with a little bit of Flying Shards support, which actually is not hardly support. But they pretty much just stabbed militia to death, and knights to death, and everyone to death. And then for some reason my Rephite sages decided they also needed to be stronger, so they cast Strength of Giants on themselves. These light cavalry bravely charged in. Didn't really accomplish a whole lot. They did some damage. They actually did inflict some wounds, and I think 1 or 2 casualties. But overall, pretty simple battle. So, also, we found the Plague Cult. The Plague Cult leader was here in Jahira, and we wiped him out. It was actually the Horse Tribe Cavalry who did almost all of the killing. Our little Sheshai Anakite here did practically nothing. And we lost a scout in Morn to a pretty significantly sized patrolling army, albeit mainly Marcatas. We could also see Independence attacked Old Land and won. So, I would say that Bandar Log is definitely losing the war against the birds at this point. You can see they've been pushed back away from Nazca, and they have a Nazcan army here near their Heartland territories. Up here in Cassian Forest, Eriu attacked Ulm and took it back with a little blob of crap. And in Azamar, this is that army of Nazcas that is attacking Bandar Log with some Hatan Runas and some Akak Runa spearmen. So, very garbage units and moderately garbage units, but flying. So, you know, better than absolute garbage. And that's about all that happened. Some unexpected events, unrest. I got an Earth Gnome, and the leaders of the Plague Cult have gone into hiding, but we found them. So I now have this Earth Gnome commander. He's pretty cool, actually, because he's a commander for free who has Spirit Sight and regenerates, and is a poor amphibian. So that's kind of neat, to be honest. I'll be able to use him to do things. Right now, I'm just putting him back in here to do stuff. Bal Esir is going to search for magic sites. Nahum is moving back through here as well. There's a shaman there on the border. Seems a little unusual. Ascanios is also moving back towards the Vanheim, the former capital, Vanheim, while Pud advances with his troops. My troops here are collapsing on Gold Mountains because Ulm is here with a very large army who is going to come and take over the siege of Eriu and conquer Eriu for himself, which is fine. That's what I want him to do. I, meanwhile, am searching for magic sites. I need to build a fort here. I would also like to build a fort and a lab here so I can start recruiting Jade Sorceresses, because I don't have any water magic or any nature magic as of yet, but I do have national nature summons, so I would like to have some nature mages. They'll also let me site search nature to build up some nature income, so that I can start getting some nature gems. All of which would be very, very good. I'm taking a break from Zamzamites to recruit another Adon. Getting some Anakites. Those Anakites will go with him to retake Inarime and reclaim its income. Pinchas is searching for magic sites. Wilberpost, the Svartalf Mastersmith, is wandering around site searching, which is fantastic. And overall, we're just having a jolly old time. Now, research-wise, I was going to go all the way up to Alteration 5. I'm actually going to stop short at Alteration 4. That means I won't get Maws of the Earth immediately, but it'll give me Temper Flesh, it'll give me Blight, it'll give me Curse of Stones, it'll give me Body Ethereal. It won't give me anything in Fire, unfortunately. But it will also give me Stygian Skin, which I can't really cast, and Arouse Hunger, which I can cast, which summons ghouls. So that's nice. I'm doing that because I do need to go down construction. I need to get some basic construction abilities of my own, because I have a lot of Death Forging and Astral Forging that Ulm only has in the form of Wilberpost. and Wilberpost is a little bit busy to be doing all the death and astral forging for both nations. So, Uzziah here, I am going to move him out temporarily, but he's going to find his way back to a lab pretty soon, because it's only going to take me about 2 or 3 turns to research Construction 3. And then Uzziah here will be needed to forge skull staffs and such like. With a skull staff, he can boost himself up to death 4, and then I'm going to forge a couple of skull staffs, although I need more death income. I am irritated that I have found no death sites so far, despite searching. I mean, I found a death site so far. Despite searching, okay, maybe it's 2 death sites. Look, the point is, I haven't found many. Shut up. I want more. That's my real point. And I want them because I have all this death magic, and I also have these fantastic late-game death summons, like Dirge for the Dead and Banquet for the Dead, that I want to use. And, of course, I can summon Mound Fiends easily and all that kind of stuff. So I want to get there. Death is my late game. Death and Astral. Speaking of Death and Astral, I do have a little bit of it in the form of Emites. My Death Astral Emites, are also going to move out to Site Search at the moment. In fact, a lot of my mages are going to move out to Site Search because I could use Astral Pearls a lot. Like, I would like to have them. I want them. Most of my research is right here anyway, so I'm not too worried about moving these guys out because they're only 10 research points each, even with their bonuses. And yeah, that's my current plan. Moving out mages to Site Search. Sort of falling a little bit into peace mode. I'm going to take Gold Mountains, so Ulm gets this, Nasajin gets this. He'll also get these provinces. And then what I'm planning is Pangaea is attacking Nazca, which is great. Satis. I find Satis very threatening. Satis is going hard up here against Mictlan, I think. And that's freaking Bandar Log, who has made an inroads here. So I'm like on the one hand, I could join in a gang up against Nazca, which would probably be able to push Nazca off the board at some point here. I mean, that's Nazca there, really, really close to Ulm. And they're fighting Bandar Log, they're fighting Pangaea. Like, there's lots of fighting going on here. Mictlan doesn't look like they're doing terribly well. I mean, the way they're kind of intermixed over here tells me that they've been basically losing. And then, where's Mictlan itself? That's Mictlan itself. Yeah, so they're struggling. Their meme bless is not quite enough. So, at least picking off border provinces of theirs might be a good idea. On the other hand, it might also be a good idea to attack Satis and Pangaea while they're busy, and kind of try to keep things in the balance, if that makes sense. Or on the third mutant hand, or rather on the third accessory slot, it might also be a good idea to just take these provinces away from Marignan. Because, I mean, I bet I could take these provinces with very little by way of commitment or risk. Not the ocean ones, obviously, but, like, these ones. Like, I could take those provinces away, I could bull my way up here, and I could probably wreck Mari just kind of by just rolling along. Just keep on rolling. And I could probably do it. He doesn't have real good answers to a lot of what I have. Like, notably, I don't think he has real good answers to Anakites. And I think he also doesn't have better answers, but still not great answers to a big ol' mass of black plate infantry and crossbows. So, that could be a way to score territory for cheap. The downside is, if we do that, then that embroils me with Bandar Log as well, and it takes pressure off of Nazca and Mictlan. Well, It takes a little bit of pressure off them. Not much, because Marignan is not contributing a whole lot of pressure. But Bandar Log is, and it would distract Bandar Log. I'm impressed, by the way, with how Lucid has been doing. Like, I do not think much of Bandar Log as a nation. Like, they're not on my list of dangerous nations in the way that a lot of nations in this game are. But Lucid's been doing yeoman work. Admittedly, he's been helped by everyone else also fighting the birds, but... yeah. Overall, I would like to see Nazca destroyed because Nazca is extremely dangerous, but I would also really like to see Pangaea and Cetis destroyed because Pangaea and Cetis is an incredibly dangerous combination. It's not as obvious as Nazca, because Nazca has the birds that are very clearly and openly and obviously destructive and dangerous in a lot of different ways, but they don't have the kind of assassin spam that Cetis and Pangaea have. Like, the risk when you attack Cetis and Pangaea is your army moves into their territory and then it stops because all the commanders are dead. I'm more resilient to that than many people because Adons are kind of hard to kill, but even so, like, casting Swarm will often kill Adons. And both of these nations have nature magic assassins that they can recruit fairly easily. So I don't like it. I really don't like it. Middle-aged Cetis. One thing I have to check that is of critical importance. Yeah, because the recruit only in capitals, the Empoisoners, his assassins are recruit only in the capital, but they're cheap. So he could be recruiting a ton of them. And Marshmasters are recruit anywhere. So he can be recruiting them in any fort, getting his Death 3, his Water 2, his Nature 3, all that good stuff. Marshmasters are extremely good mages. So... and of course he has communions from the Shamans. Like, a lot of communions. So he can cast Foul Vapors. Like, in battle, Cetis is incredibly annoying and dangerous, because if they have Foul Vapors and Horde of Skeletons, they can cast both. They can cast Foul Vapors and then just spam Horde of Skeletons and wait for you to die. And if you can't mow through their infinite skeletons fast enough, meaning really fast, you just die, and there's nothing you can do about it. And even if you win the battle, odds are that you die after the battle, because the poison ticks keep hitting you for some time after the battle is technically concluded, because Dominions runs a whole bunch of turns after the battle is over, specifically to let damage over time effects run their course. So, like, it's entirely possible that I could take a big pile of Anakites in here against, like, 5 mages, win, kill all the mages, and then all the Anakites die from poison damage. So, point is, I don't like them. I would like them to be gone. And I'm honestly not sure which I would like to fight less in the late game. Cetis or the birds. And of course Pangaea. I mean, middle-aged Pangaea is just as broken as early-aged Pangaea. They're just a little, I don't know, a little subtler about it, I guess. Anyway, those are all strategic considerations for future turns. I'm going to talk it over with Nasajin, and we will figure out what we're going to do about that. Right now, we're just focusing on destroying... We're going to finish off the elves. After that, we will figure out what we're doing. I am strongly tempted to make a push north. Right now, we're tied on points with Pangaea. Pangaea has the Throne of Fortune and Might. We've got War and the First Age. We've just taken the Throne of the Second Age, but we haven't claimed it yet. What would be nice would be if, after taking these provinces, I could just push up and take this. Now, obviously, Nazca would object, but like I said, it looks kind of like Nazca's getting whipped on right now. So, I'm not too worried about Nazca objecting. And then that, having those forts, and also this province, because, sorry, Marignan does not get to keep that province. Taking these provinces would establish a very natural boundary, and it would set me up well for a future war with Pangaea. And, of course, it would mean that I would get this throne, which, since it's untaken, I assume is a pretty tough throne, which makes me think it's either Abundance or Eternal Suffering. Eternal Suffering is a straight upgrade for us because we already have Misfortune 3. So... don't we? Oh yeah, that's still My Little Pony's domain. Yeah, my domain is Misfortune. Maybe... did I only take Misfortune 2? I'm forgetting what I have done to myself. I could swear that I took Misfortune 3. Anyway, regardless, I know I took Misfortune 3. I have to have. There's no way I would take Drain. Yeah, I took Misfortune 3, obviously. Anyway, so the point is, extra Misfortune from the Throne of Eternal Suffering wouldn't help us, and extra Order would. The productivity would be wasted, because we also have Productivity 3, but extra Order would be nice. The Throne of Abundance would actually be bad for us, because it does give us a bunch of gems, but it cuts productivity, and both of us really need productivity. So if that was the Throne of Abundance, we would actually not claim it, because that sloth would be murderous. Like, even now, like with Sloth 2, Vanheim has only 150 resources. In Productivity 1, for some frickin' reason, Ashdod, with a very similar population, has 267 resources, despite having another fort right next to it that has 280 in productivity, and 164 here, despite having pretty garbage provinces for resources around it, and not many of them. So anyway, the point is, Sloth sucks, and it prevents me from recruiting units like I want to do. I'm not recruiting units right now because I'm trying to save money. I'm still recruiting Emites over here, which is fine. I'm actually going to send Shalim here over to search for Astral and Death in... well, I can't because this guy's in the way. Well, let's search for Astral and Death here in Gueladun. See if we can get Ulm some income. And we will see what develops. So, that was turn 27. I'll talk to you all again in turn 28, and I will report on the results of my conversation with Nasajin about what we want to be doing. I've got scouts hidden. You are diseased. Why are you diseased? Oh no. Don't tell me. Don't tell me that Satis keeps their disease effect in Disciple games. Don't. Shit. I didn't think that was the case. I thought, because since Pangaea is the pretender, it shouldn't have the Satis Dominion effect. Well, we will find out. That's not confirmed, but I don't know why else my scout would have a disease. Anyway, I'll see you next time. See you in turn 28. Alright, so it's turn 29. And the strategic situation is very, very interesting at this point. You can see kind of the surge eastward in my movements here. I'm not going to go into too much detail this turn. That's a lie. I will go into too much detail, as I always do. Got lots more items from Ulm. I need to send Ulm some more gems. They're sending me weapons, charcoal shields. Charcoal shields are going to be important for future strategy. Girdles of Might, crystal matrixes, lots of cool stuff. I lost Muferth to a hawk summon from Ariu, and this province was also taken by hawks. I'm moving in Thar with 2 Anakites guarding him, and frankly, he should be able to kill 20 Blackhawks, just like by himself. He's going to bless his bodyguards and then just cast Horde of Skeletons a lot, and that should be able to wipe out 20 Blackhawks. Up here, more units moving across. This is something that I may actually change. Because I'm moving in. This is just a pile of siege chaff with 1 Anakite and 3 giants in it. And we're, I'm sort of moving it through Nasajin territory here. We'll talk about that in a minute. These people are actually starving, so I'm splitting them up a little bit to go make sure we can besiege Felicia as well, and shut down all of Aryu's further recruitment. It's interesting that there's a connection here right across literally the tallest and thickest part of the mountains, but you know what? I'm not going to complain about it. That's fine. We'll just assume they're kind of going around like this, I guess. Anyway, the question at this point is the one I've been kind of mulling over for the last couple turns, which is who are we going to fight now that Aryu is dead? Because Aryu's dead. I mean, basically. Ulm is going to break into Aryu itself and get their delicious gem income. I am going to break into Gold Mountains, and one of us is going to take Felicia as well. After that, the question becomes, as I said, who do we fight? So, strategically speaking, 4 players have been fighting Nazca and Mictlan, and Mictlan is suffering. Mictlan is getting the worst of their engagements. Nazca is not making progress. Like, Nazca should at this point be much larger and scarier. That said, they're still plenty scary. It looks like Bandar Log, Lucid, has pushed them out, has pushed Sai out of his territory. Over here, Pangea is making, I think this is Jay Breton, if I recall correctly, Nuclear Monkey's partner, is pushing and is making progress against Nazca. So Nazca is, it looks like, slowly losing, but very, very slowly. So the question is, the injection of the Quickness Giants and Ulm's armies into that strategic scene is definitely going to disrupt things. And so the question is, how do we want to disrupt things? There's 3 possible ways we could jump, of course, because there's 3 teams and we boarded them all. We could go attack Marignan, and we could wipe Marignan out pretty trivially. We could attack Nazca and Mictlan, and with the added weight of us, they would probably collapse in fairly short order. I mean, obviously they're going to keep fighting hard, and we would definitely take casualties, but assuming everyone else keeps the pressure on, I think Nazca and Mictlan would fold just because they couldn't hold up against that kind of pressure. At least I certainly don't think they could. You can see Mictlan is kind of being driven back to their heartlands already, and yeah, I think we could kill Team Bird if we came down hard on them. And then I could take these provinces, this fort, these provinces, and then Nazca itself I couldn't really get close to. Well, Ulm could put pressure on Nazca itself very rapidly and take that fort right there in Blue Coast. The third option is to attack Tis and Pangea to backstab them while they're fighting Nazca. There's an attraction to that because Nuclear Monkey is right now, I would say, probably the largest and most dangerous player in the game. Actually, I mean, I might be larger in terms of raw size. I think we're very, very close, actually. They may still be bigger than me. And, of course, Nuclear Monkey is also an extremely dangerous player. So the both of us jumping on him while his back's turned, that has a certain attraction. Now, if I do that, Satis and Pangea are almost guaranteed to just pull out of the war with Nazca and come fight us. And that's bad on 2 levels. First of all, we might just straight up lose. And secondly, that would give Nazca room to breathe. Mictlan I'm not so concerned about, but it would give Sai, playing Nazca, time to get his footing, because then he would only be fighting Bandar Log and Marignan. And Marignan, I've been told, is on the ropes, and from looking at the situation in here, I can believe it. It looks like they're on the ropes. So, given all that, I think our best choice is to attack Nazca. Now, I'm going to clean up incidentals on the way. Like, I'm going to take this province. It's owned by Marignan, but I'm going to take it. And I'll take these provinces here. And then I'll take these armies that I'm assembling and besieging Eryu's forts with, and I will basically just shove them up this way, towards Nazca. And I may also go over here and clean up Mari at the same time, which I'm sure Lucid won't like, but the fact is, Marignan is, I think, pretty much irrelevant at this point. Like, that's his capital right there. It's got bird infestation problems, like birds, probably birds. Birds. I think he's gone, for all intents and purposes. So I'll contact Lucid and just be like, hey, by the way, I'm sweeping through your ally. Like, he's dead. I'm not gonna bother going out of my way to keep him around. So I think that has to be the plan. I don't like that plan in a way because this mess. Satis is large and in charge, and has a lot of forts, and has a lot of mages. And invading him is going to be a royal pain in the ass at any time. But, we're gonna have to do it at some point, and what I don't want is, I don't want to be fighting Satis and Nazca simultaneously. If I can just get big enough, if I can get big and powerful enough and with enough income, I can fight Satis. Satis's shtick is foul vapors and assassins. Foul vapors works long term, and assassins rely on assassinatable leaders. Well, my Adons are not very assassinatable. I know I say this after having already lost a couple of Adons to in-battle assassination-esque tactics, but being serious, it is easy to gear Adons to not be assassinatable. All I need is nature magic. If I put a snake ring on him and then the charcoal shields that you've seen me receiving, a snake ring and a charcoal shield basically makes an Adon largely invulnerable to Satis's normal shenanigans. If they're invulnerable to poison and they can't be skeleспammed to death, they're not going to die. They're really not going to die to assassins. So armies led by Adons are going to be pretty safe pushing into Satis. Now, there are going to be other challenges that they have to face. And this is partially why I'm researching up to construction level 4, so that I can forge some of my own items as well as receiving items from Ulm. I do need to build a fort here in Ogden Mercs. Fort and lab complex and all that. So Ophir is going over here to try to resolve this event by finding this damn, like, whatever he is. Uzziah is, yeah, going to keep moving in this direction. I'm just sort of, like I said, I'm filtering my big mages over that way. And, then he's going to come over here and build a fort here in Ogden Mercs, because I can't recruit any commanders here. Also, I can recruit Pale Ones here. Yay! If I wanted Pale Ones, that'd be good, but I don't want Pale Ones. Nobody wants Pale Ones. I take it back. I actually do want Pale Ones, because they don't eat, and they're excellent siege chaff. So, if there were any recruitment points in this province, I would be happy with that. As it is, I can recruit, like, after I build a fort, I'll probably be able to recruit 2 a turn. But I will. I'll pump them out, while I'm also recruiting Jade Sorceresses, which I need a lab for. Jade Sorceresses will give me water and nature magic. I'll be able to use crystal matrices to plug them into communions and cast poison resist spells, AoE poison resist spells, which will help me against Satis's foul vapors. The other thing that will help me against Satis's foul vapors is just that I am giants. So, you know, humans with 10 hit points succumb to foul vapors pretty quickly. Giants with 35 hit points take quite a bit longer. And so if I send in a primarily giant army, I will be able to smash through. This leads me to the other thing that I need nature magic for, which is supply items, because I'm already having trouble eating supplies, because Anakites in particular, and also giants in general, eat huge quantities of food. Anakites eat, like, okay, so regular giants here, regular Rephites with Gluttony 2, eat, I think, 4 supply points. Or 6, because it's 84 supply points here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 gets us down to 76. 75. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So these 15 giants are eating 75 supply, which is, yeah, 5 each. So, one giant with Gluttony 2 eats 5 supply points. These guys have Gluttony 5. They eat, well, there's 120 supply points being used here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then he has Gluttony 8. So I'm not sure how to calculate that exactly, but it's almost 10. It's almost 10 each. It's more than 10 each. What am I saying? No, it's almost 10 each, because there's 13 units. 120 supplies. So yeah. There's, well, here, let me see. Let me just take all these guys off for a second. Yeah, so he eats 12 supplies with his, Gluttony 8. And one Anakite eats 9. Yep. That's the way it works. So, put you back on guard commander, put you guys all on hold and attack closest. Great. So yeah, Ashdod needs a lot of supplies, and I need to use nature magic to get those supplies, which I have access to. Also, Ulm has said that once he upgrades this to a citadel, he'll pass it off to me so that I can recruit lizards, which are, of course, nature astral crosspaths, because he has another lizard province over somewhere. I don't know where his other lizard province is, but he has it somewhere. I also need to take this province back, so, Ophir. Probably not Ophir, actually. Probably my next Adon will take a pack of Anakites, and reinforced by troops from here, will go and retake Inorime. Might also have some mage support. I'm searching for astral sites. Haven't found many yet. I've got good earth gem income, decent fire income, decent death income, and then, as you see, no nature income. So, that's the plan. We're going to finish off the elves, and then we're going to go in against Nazca. And basically what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take these parts of Nazca, incidentally a couple of Mari provinces. I'm not going to try to push into the Nazcan heartland. Ulm can come down from the north and take some of these provinces up here. That's fine. And I will also, from the south, I will also attack these two, or these three, rather, Mictlan areas. A little bit worried about this army. I would like this army to be moving off. I would like this army to go and attack Bandar Log. But if they do stay there, that's okay. I can't recruit here because I have 19 recruitment points. I literally cannot recruit Bashanites. And I can barely recruit my other giants. Like, 1 per turn. It's not really even worth trying. I would like to recruit mages, though. Except I still don't know why Eiffelon got diseased. So, that's a little depressing. It doesn't have any different scales, and I've searched here for death and only found the Flaming Tomb, so could be there's other sites that cause disease. I think most of them are nature, and of course I don't have nature yet. Ulm seems to have gotten a hold of a whole bunch of flagellants somewhere, which is hilarious. Must have been a good random event. It's especially hilarious because flagellants are blessable, so those are all quickness blood surge flagellants. Which is just sort of funny. But, yeah. These guys are carrying fire gems because I have a whole bunch of fire gems, and they're just holding them because in a few turns here they'll be going down to help kill these guys. I'm just worried about this province because there's freaking 70 units and most of them are knights. Like, that's an insane independent attack. Insane. Anyway. So yeah. That's going to be the plan, and we will execute it in the next few turns here. So yeah, stay tuned, and we'll show you some more Anakite action. With all this gear that I'm getting from Ulm, I definitely need to be, like, every mage gets one of these. Every single mage. I need to be running people through forts and labs in order to pick theirs up. Like, Uzziah, can you get there in 1 turn? Yes, you can. Thar? Yeah, go back there. Pick up your belts of not sucking. Not falling asleep. And I'll see you all in turn 30.